Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, Mom and Son Gone Rogue. Yeah. This is our first ever video that we do together, mother and son. I did post a couple videos a few weeks ago about what was coming up, but I'm really excited to be able to sit down with you, Mom, and talk to people about what's coming up. My name is Marty.
And I'm Angèle.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced like Danielle or Michelle, but it's Angèle.
Like Angel.
Some people say Angel. We're about to hit the road for starters across Canada, later on to Europe, and who knows where else. I'm very lucky to have a great relationship with my son so that we can do this together.
I'm 47 years old, and you are about to be 74.
Yes, and I'm hoping to hit the road on my birthday, April 1st.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a nice April Fool's.
Yeah.
For everyone. See ya. So here's the deal. We sold everything. The houses. I sold my house less than a year ago. We're selling all our stuff. You name it, it's gone. And we're hitting the road, nomad style. So we do have a plan.
Yep.
In a certain way, but we are both very open to the nomadic kind of approach too, is to not really knowing exactly when and exactly where we're going to end up, but we do have like a good idea of what we want to see.
Yeah, for sure. We know we're going through, which provinces we're going through. And
for Canada, yeah.
Yeah, for Canada. And then Europe is mostly France and Spain that we're looking at right now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why this came about. The past 10 years have been a little bit challenging or quite challenging. In 2015, my husband had a massive, not heart attack, it was a cardiac arrest. And it lasted 40 minutes and 7 shocks. He was in hospital for 3 months. He came back to us, which is quite miraculous, I think. And came back, fairly healthy for a few years, but then he started to deteriorate again and affected his other organs, and he passed away in 2021. And then Martin has had heart problems ever since he was a baby, mostly with his aorta. He's had, just last May, he had his 6th open heart surgery. So, after all of those challenges and somewhat hard times, we decided that, while we're healthy enough, let's do this.
Yeah, you only live once, and, every experience that you have, whether you're on the bedside or if you're in the bed, like if you're the patient or the person supporting, it takes a toll.
It sure does.
And I think, we've took care of Dad, and then helped me a lot with my own health my whole life. And we're sort of at a crossroads in the last few months, saying what's next kind of thing. And I had applied on some jobs. I got a really good job for the federal government, but unfortunately the class wasn't approved. So when that happened in December, my mom looked at me and she was like, remember what we talked about in October? I had suggested, going on a 1-year vacation. And I just, at that time, was like, I need to find stability and settle down, kind of help, make sure the kids are fine. But the kids are 18 and 20.
Yeah.
And they're on the Gallivant. They're having fun. They're living life. They're doing their best, their best thing. My son's in school, in university, and my daughter is graduating this year. And she's had her issues too over the last few years. So she's kind of bouncing back lately, and she has like I find she's got a new energy and a new outlook.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to see her. And that was the first thing for me that was important, was to get their approval.
Yeah.
And their mother's approval, which is my ex-wife, but a very close friend. And so everybody kind of approved, and everybody approved, and everybody was really excited for what's to come. So, you got to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do it. You got to get out. And I appreciate that I'm able to do it as well with my mom. It's really one of those, life-changing experience, I think. It's going to be memories forever to cherish. And we're going to see so many beautiful things across our travels. So, and meet all kinds of people. So we're excited. There's a lot of people that we know along the road, especially on the Canada front. So we're going to cross Canada from New Brunswick to Vancouver to British Columbia. And we're going to take our time. We're going to stop and see some friends along the way. You know, we got some family along the way. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be vlogging and blogging and posting on all our social medias. So if you want to follow us, follow along, you know, on this channel, this YouTube channel, we've got the TikTok, Twitter. We got all the links, and they're all in the description below of this video. So by all means, please go check it out and follow us along and be a part of that Rogue community.
Leave us some messages or suggestions. Or
Absolutely. We want suggestions as well in the comments. Like, you know, if you've done some traveling, if you have some ideas, if you have some products that you really love. This is all exciting and new for us. So, and we are adapting and adjusting along the way. We're certainly hoping that we can grow our social media channels and turn this sort of into a business, because we want to continue doing this past the 1 year mark. So we're able to push it for 1 year, and we're going to put all our eggs in the baskets, but at the same time, hoping to be able to create an income, a passive income with this channel and all of our other endeavors along with that whole project.
So we can just keep traveling.
Yeah, so we can keep doing this and chase the sun, really. That's chase the heat. We want to get away from our cold winters. I've had 47 cold winters in Canada. You've had 74 minus a couple in Florida. We would love to chase that heat and that sun, and just to be able to continue doing it so long as our health is in check.
And our desire is there.
Exactly.
So when we first get going, probably one of our first thoughts will be Quebec City. And I mean, we've been there before, but Quebec City is so beautiful, and it's kind of the closest to Europe you're going to get in Canada. So we'll see how much time we want to spend there. Then Montreal, where my grandson is right now, on to Toronto. And then west, I don't know exactly where we'll stop before we hit the Rockies.
Yeah, I think the long stretch is going to be Ontario, you know, after Toronto. After we leave Toronto, we might stop in Ottawa as well to see my cousins, your nieces. Perhaps we'll see, but just to visit, say hi.
We're going to go north of the lakes instead of going through the USA.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Ontario, I think, is going to be like the
longest stretch, I think. Yeah.
And but we'll make fun with it, and we'll stop in villages, meet people. That's sort of what we want to do with the vlog as well, is like meet locals.
Yeah.
Whether it be artists, musicians, or just a mechanic or whoever, like a farmer, like different type of people, good people. And there's good people everywhere in the world.
That's right.
And we want to discover good people as well as discover, beautiful
and to
scenes.
see, what it's like to live in their area.
Yeah, exactly. So past Toronto, we'll get, in the prairies, and then to finally get to Alberta and the Rockies, The
Rockies, that's a big...
Our big stops there are going to be Red Deer, Calgary, Edmonton.
Right.
Red Deer because we have some family there. And then Calgary, Edmonton, to go see the Rockies. And then towards British Columbia we go.
BC, yeah. And probably spend maybe a month or more in BC, in Vancouver area.
Yeah. And then in September or end of August, there is a plan in place for sure for you,
for me,
my
to
mom,
go to Europe,
to cross the ocean and go to Europe with my sister.
Yes.
My sister and her husband are doing a beautiful planned trip in the Basque country. So basically...
south of France, north of Spain.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we'll be spending a month there, so I'll go on that trip with them.
Yeah.
And it's my first time in Europe. My husband had been because he was like the treasurer for a choir, but I've never been, so I'm so excited about going to Europe.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. I wish I could be there for your first experience in Europe.
Yeah.
But the fact that my sister and her husband were planning this for the last few years for my sister's 50th, I really opted on saying, look, I'll let you go with them. Go have fun with
Yeah.
them, and we'll return either in 2026 or later in 2025. We'll figure it out. No big deal. And during that time, I'll be heading east again with the car,
Right, right.
our Nissan Rogue.
Our Nissan
by the way.
Rogue, which is why we've gone rogue.
Exactly. That's why we call it Mom and Son Gone Rogue, is because the car we will be driving is a Nissan Rogue. So shout out to Nissan if you're out there. But yeah, no, we'll be driving our 2016 Nissan Rogue.
2016, but there's not a lot of
No.
mileage on it.
It's in good shape, and
Yeah.
no, I'm excited for that. But I'll be jumping in the Rogue and heading back east
Right.
to Toronto, at least, because I plan on going to see a concert in Toronto in September with my family, with my daughter, my son, and their mom. Morgan Wallen. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Morgan Wallen. My daughter had the opportunity to meet him last year
She was so excited.
a couple of times. Yeah, once in our hometown, and then once in New York City, where they gave them the VIP treatment. But during that time, I was in the hospital, so I wasn't able to go. And so this time we're going to Toronto to see a stadium show. So while you're traveling to Europe, making your way there, I'll be traveling back east to get the car back east.
Right.
And to be able to meet you back either in Toronto or Halifax or even Moncton
Yeah, we'll see.
when you fly back in from Europe, so that we can take off again in another direction.
Yeah, probably
Perhaps-
maybe spend Christmas here with the kids, and then after Christmas we might, head out, like you said, for the warm weather.
Yeah, chase the warmth, chase the sun. Perhaps Florida. We haven't decided, but it'll be perhaps
Mexico.
Florida, Mexico, perhaps Arizona. We spoke of Arizona, like the
Arizona.
desert heat.
Oh yes.
We want to experience the dry heat. We've never experienced
Austin,
it.
Texas, because of the comedy.
Absolutely. I think we're both probably going to want to fit that in at one point or another, whether it be within the first year or the second year.
Yeah.
But we want to go spend maybe even a month or two in Austin, Texas. First of all, to see the Texas vibe. It's another vibe.
Yeah.
Texas is
Oh,
another
yeah.
vibe. Come on. We know it. And also, to be in what I would consider now the comedy capital of the world, stand-up comedy, and also a music capital of the world.
True enough.
So I mean, and I've been a musician for my whole life. My mom's a musician as well,
Singer.
so we're big on comedy and music. So
Yeah. We both watch Kill Tony, which is kind of not for everybody, but Mata and I enjoy it together. So.
yeah, I introduced Kill Tony to you about 4 or 5 years ago.
And at first,
Somehow,
I
yeah.
don't know, but
Somehow we fell in love with the show.
yeah.
I was the same way at first. I was like,
I
but
don't
then
know.
we
It
gotta
can
get
be
hooked.
pretty crude sometimes, but
Yeah. Kinda get
I like
hooked.
stand-up comedy in general. So
Yeah, and like the concept is cool. Just
Yeah.
explain the concept quickly. Like
yeah, they have this show where they draw names out of a bucket and they give them a minute to do a stand-up comedy, and then he interviews them, and sometimes the interview is more funny than the actual comedy. But like I say, we
It's-
like stand-up comedy a lot. So
yeah, and you kind of get hooked to the some of the regulars.
the regulars,
Because they do have
for
a
sure.
few regulars, and you kind of get hooked on the personalities and whatnot. So
I
no,
love
we
Ari Mahdi.
yeah, Ari Mahdi. Shout out
I
to Ari
love
Mahdi.
him.
Shout out to
And,
him,
and
KP Cam Patterson,
He's so good.
and my favorite, still my all-time favorite. I don't know if it's
William?
your favorite, but
Oh, William.
definitely my favorite. But William Montgomery, shout out.
Yeah.
No, we're huge fans. We watch it every Monday night.
Yeah,
so
every Monday night.
for the last 4 or 5 years, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So we
we'll
won't
see
stop.
about
We'll
us
never
then.
stop watching Kill Tony, especially not on the road, because it's on
never
YouTube.
gonna stop.
Yeah, I'm never gonna stop. Especially not on the road. We got YouTube, so we'll be all set. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube, so we recommend Kill Tony to anybody, but it's not for everyone.
No.
Not
Like
for
I said,
everyone.
sometimes they're quite crude.
Yeah, if you have pruny ears, no. How would you say that? If you have,
You can't be prunish, or I'm not sure how you say that.
yeah, if your ears are,
Virgin ears.
yeah, or easily offended, perhaps don't go there. But hey, whatever. It's jokes and it's comedy.
It's comedy.
Maybe let's just give a little history behind who we are and where we're from.
Oh yeah,
Like,
true.
what's our culture, where we're from, and everything. So
Yeah.
I'll let you kind of just jump into that quickly.
Okay, yeah,
to
we live
let
in New
people know.
Brunswick, Canada, which is eastern Canada, and we are Acadians. So Acadians were settlers that came in from France many years ago in the 1600s and settled here, what they called La Nouvelle France, New France, and eventually were called Acadians. I'm not sure how that came about, but in the years around 1755, over a period of maybe 50 or 100 years, they were Britain came in and pushed us out, and so it was like a genocide, right? And we ended up everywhere in a lot of the New England states, Philadelphia, and some of them went back to France. But once they got there, they still didn't feel like that was home because they had been here now for 100 years, right? So they got onto Spanish ships and ended up in Louisiana, and they're the Cajun. We call them Cajun cousins,
Yeah.
and we've met a lot of them, and it was so
Amazing.
fun to meet them.
It's a
and
beautiful
you feel
culture.
the connection. Yeah,
Yeah, both cultures are beautiful and they're connected.
Yeah,
So Acadian culture is beautiful. The language, the food,
Music.
the music,
Yeah.
the energy, the also the
friendliness.
yes, and the strength of the Acadian
Resilience.
people, the resilience, because it's almost like you said, a genocide. It was a deportation. It was a big
Right.
deal, and it built a strong character within the bloodline, I think, of the
Yeah.
Acadian culture. And really, it's a beautiful culture. We are resilient, and we are
We're lucky that the culture
welcoming.
survived. Yeah.
yeah. So, and us here in Moncton, New Brunswick, is where kind of we all were brought up.
Yeah.
You were brought up here
Grew
too,
up here,
and my
yeah.
dad too, and it's a beautiful area, beautiful place to grow up.
Not a huge city, about 140 for the Greater Moncton.
Definitely growing a lot.
Growing,
Yeah.
big time.
It's different than it used to be, but it's still a beautiful city and a nice place to live. Along the way, you'll get to discover, more about our personal stories. But, other than that, you're from a
yeah.
family of 13.
13 kids, and we're mostly all musicians or singers, and my parents were musicians, so there was a lot of parties at our house, and
Yeah.
it was a small house with 13 kids, so it was pretty hectic, but hey, we all turned out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think everybody's amazing.
Yeah, the whole family. We get
Everybody's
together
close.
once a year, and we're about 130 people, I think, that get together for Christmas.
We have to rent a hall.
We rent a hall, and
Yeah. It's a good time. It's a big jam, a lot of music and food. And
it's amazing. All the young people really want to continue it. They don't want to let that go at all.
And there's so much talent
There is.
within the kids of the
absolutely.
kids of the kids of the kids.
Yeah,
We're down to the fifth maybe generation or whatever from my grandparents.
Maybe we'll be able to put on a couple of video clips on the vlog at one point.
Yeah, on the vlog or the blog, for sure. But again, this is our intro video to you, so we want you to know a little bit about who we are and about what we're up to and what the project is all about. This is an amazing project, and we're literally spending every day in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Like, we were tampering for a while, but in the last 3-4 weeks, we've been getting serious and organizing our websites, our vlog, our blog, the whole shop, shopping for to have some merchandise and grow a business out of this. So we've been kind of grinding it out.
Yeah.
It's been
we've
exciting.
working and planning the trip, and
Yeah, it's been exciting and frustrating all at the same time.
sometimes frustrating. I'm
think-
having a bit of a hard time right now with one of the programs. So
Right.
I'll get it after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you've never been to Eastern Canada, it's a beautiful place to visit also. Well, like the New Brunswick, PEI, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. Beautiful, beautiful areas.
Especially in the summer.
In the summer, yes. Mostly in the summer.
We have-
Unless you like winter sports and stuff, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. But we have beautiful summer and summer weather. And
Beaches and
it's really...
And PEI is so quaint and
Yeah.
pretty. And
and the people are good people.
yeah.
It's a different vibe here in the Maritimes, in the Atlantic provinces. So But we're excited to travel and discover the world and discover all the horizons, all the different places and people, and it's going to
Haven't been yet.
super exciting. And I guess, I don't know if there's anything to add for our first video,
I
but
don't think so, but I hope you follow us and we'll get to know each other with your comments and our...
yeah, absolutely. Please comment and, subscribe and follow all the things that you can do to help us grow this channel. And
Appreciated.
Absolutely appreciated. And we'll be doing a weekly video like this that we'll be throwing on our channel along with the short videos if you follow our shorts or TikTok and whatever else. Everything's in the description. So don't hesitate to go snoop around, be nosy, get to know us. And like we said, join the Gone Rogue community. Hopefully we can build a nice little community of good humans, good people that perhaps are doing the same thing or dreaming of doing the same thing or living vicariously through us.
There you go.
Until next time.
Nice to know you all.
Take care. Bye-bye.